All right, hi, everybody. It is just after 7 o'clock on this Thursday evening, May the 8th. We have been weather alert throughout the day, anticipating this round of storms coming in. And if you watched our live stream earlier this afternoon, and then my 6 o'clock update, we've been watching the progress of these storms coming in from the west, making their way to the east. Now, we've got already some storms out there, some active warnings, especially north of the city. We'll take a look at those. And then we're watching all of this back here to the west. That's where this is about to fall into a line. So we've got these individual cells here, which have had some large hail, and I'll show you some pictures coming up. But when you start falling into a line, you add to that equation the risk of large hail and damaging wind gusts. And those are the two main factors of these storms coming in. So there you have it right there. And this is something that'll progressively move on through this evening. And I think around 11 o'clock to midnight, most of this is going to be rapidly moving on out. So that'll be some improvement there. Let me see this. There we go. All right. So anyway, I'll have your comments here so I can see those as well when they come through. And we'll get started here and track these storms for you. Let me show you, first of all, some of the hail already. And you can see that. That's from Connie Lewis. That was in Pikeville right around 5 o'clock Eastern time. And you can see that hail just shy of a ping pong ball. So it's about the size of that, that key fob, but it's larger than a quarter, just shy of ping pong ball size. I say that's about 1.5 inches in size there. So pretty large hail. And I've seen other video and pictures that other people have sent. So pretty amazing there with some of the hail. So that one again was at Pikeville around 5 o'clock this afternoon. So let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Well, that's too big. Let's see here. I just want to make the radar a little bit bigger, me a little bit smaller. Just the opposite. Yeah, we'll figure this out in a minute. Anyway, we'll worry about that later. Let's go and take a look at the radar view and show you what's happening out there. Let's look at the active warnings that are going on currently. Put the specs on so I can see a little bit better there. 2 active warnings locally at the moment. One, and this has been a storm that's been moving, that moved through Spring City over to 10 Mile and now moved east. And you can see from Athens up to around just south of Lanier. You got this active storm, pretty heavy rain there. And that warning carries all the way through far northeastern McMinn County and on into Monroe County, even the southern part of Blount County. This is going to be active till 8 o'clock Eastern. Wind gusts up to 60 and quarter-size hail possible with that storm as it moves to the east. Movement is east at 25. That's been the very common forward speed. It's not too fast like the storms we had last Friday night. So the forward speed a little bit slower. But again, hail is going to be the big, big problem. And along with that, very heavy rain, a lot of lightning. So you can see 2 different warnings there from east of Sweetwater and then covering the rest of Monroe counties all with that same storm. Right along 411 all the way up to Maryville. So slow going there. Then we got these active storms, I'll tell you, for about the past 2 or 3 hours. It seems like these storms have been ongoing from Pikeville over to Spring City. As you can see, 10 miles of light showers there. And then you got this active warning here across Bledsoe, Ray, and Meigs out till 7:45, roughly about the next 30 minutes. That one also moving east at about 30, a little faster, but 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and $50 size hail possible with that. That was closer to what that hailstone looked like there in Pikeville. And let me show you the hail tracker. This will give you a little bit of an, I'm going to take all these elements off so you can see the hail tracker. Take lightning off because sometimes the hail tracker pockets will show it too well. But this will show you there's a little bit of hail right there along 127 where it's kind of blue, that dark blue shading. That's where it got pretty large there. That's just over the past hour. So right along 127 and east, northeastern Bledsoe counties, pockets of hail there. And then right here, oh, look at that. Just southeast of Von Orr, east of Madisonville. Let's pause that. This is far northern Monroe County. Size estimate on that is about 1.5 inches, so half dollar size hail. That's east of Kincaid, south of Von Orr, right on the northern part of Monroe County. And other little pockets of smaller hail, still about, inch in diameter, about a quarter size. Madisonville, just east of Athens, probably getting some hail coming down. And as I mentioned in the last live stream, I know it's ice falling, but it's not wintry precipitation. Now, hail can happen 4 seasons out of the year, any month out of the year. In fact, it happens more in the warm season. With the stronger thermal updrafts, that's what pushes that moisture below the freezing level, way up in the atmosphere. And the successive trips up and down the cloud the hailstone makes it while that updraft is strong will determine how large the hailstone can get. But again, oh, you do? Oh, you do? Oh, perfect. I'll take a look at that. Thanks, Samantha. Appreciate that. Speaking of hail, we'll show you some video coming up. But the successive trips in the cloud will determine how large that hailstone is. So it's a warm season type of ice that falls. I had a lot of folks comment about that last week. Like, I'm seeing ice on the ground and it's May. What's going on? Well, that's the reason why. Hail is more of a warm season precipitation type. Let's go and take a look at some of that hail footage here. Give me just 1 second. Let me pull that up. Let's see. There we go. You can see that now. That's a lot of hail coming down there. That is actually, let me find the exact location of that. This is from Greg Whitehead. I'll let it stream one more time. You can see that's probably pea-sized hail coming down on the deck there, covering the ground. That is in Meigs County. Well, that was coming down. Wow. That was sent in about 3 minutes ago. So Samantha Burgess, who's running our digital center, make sure everything's updated for us on the digital side of things on newschannel9.com, making sure we saw that video. That's impressive. Seeing a lot of that. And again, all these little pockets you see here in our hail tracker indicating where those pockets of hail are ongoing. All right, let's go back and show you the current warnings ongoing currently. And no surprise there that you've got, well, they've added on to that over northeastern Monroe County, this warning here. It's all because it's the same cluster of storms. That now includes northeastern Monroe County into the mountains there until 8 o'clock Eastern. Again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. And again, the large hail possible with that. Okay. And then we showed you the warning here from Spring City to 10 Mile. To the west, we're watching these storms approaching Franklin County, kind of forming in a line here from McMinnville down to just near the Bellevue area. And then across Jackson DeKalb County, got this sneaky little cell here that's going to move in just to the southwest of Scottsboro. That is moving northeast at about 15, a real slow mover, but far southwestern Jackson County, that's going to be out till 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Again, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are possible as that storm moves to the north and east. You can see it right there, right along the Tennessee River near Grant. So keep an eye on that in Scottsboro over the next hour. Non-severe cells, southern DeKalb County. We'll keep an eye out those build up anymore. Not much happening in the city right now. We had some downpours about an hour ago in Cleveland. But again, the most active area is up in here and where it's been the past couple of hours. We've had several rounds of warnings out across Pikeville, 10 Mile, Spring City. This extension here to that warning added just a few minutes ago. That's out to 7:45 Eastern time for Spring City, 10 Mile. Again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and $half size hail possible. That's impressive. I should note area-wide, I'll show you this map here. Everybody's under severe thunderstorm watch at the moment, and you may be looking outside. I can see our window right across here, and it's partly sunny. It's beautiful. It's a nice evening out there. It feels like summertime, as we expected. It was much warmer today, but that heat humidity is kind of fueling these storms, the reason why they could be on the severe side, and mainly from now through mid to late evening. Once we're past the overnight hours, this will all start to end. But the expiration time of this, a little different area-wide across southeast Tennessee and western North Carolina. That's out to 11 o'clock Eastern. And across northwest Georgia is out until midnight Eastern, so roughly about the same time. Once you get toward late evening, a lot of this will start to dissipate. So it won't keep you up all night long. And there's the overview. You can see, warning is going on north of the city, far north, right where we border the Knoxville viewing area. And that storm near Jackson County, and this one approaching Franklin County over the next hour. Let's see. Look at some of the comments here. Yeah, Steve says, sun's still out in Harrison, and you're not far from us. That's true. Thanks, Brenda. Brenda watching from Lafayette. Hello, Sharon. Hello, D. John says there was P to Ice Cube size hail coming down in Madisonville. So again, we'll take a look at those two massive storms right there. You can see two large cells there. That one that's just north and west of Tellico Plains. Now moving away from Athens. We put Athens back in view. So Athens, you're improving quite a bit here. You start probably hearing a lot of thunder and lightning, but that's now east of Highway 11, east of 75, and in around Sweetwater, 411, very heavy rain and lightning. Same thing near Lanier on into Blount County. And again, we'll go ahead and take a look at the hail tracker again. And there's that pocket of large hail one more time. I'll pause this. It's in the far northern part of Monroe County, Citico Beach area, and still about $half size hail, 1.5 inch diameter. Now that's a radar estimate. It might be a little larger. Oftentimes it is. Other smaller pockets of hail you can see dotting the radar screen. That cell east of Athens producing a little bit of hail right there. And yeah, here in Bledsoe County, that dark blue is usually about 1.5 inches in diameter. That's about the size of a quarter. Right in here. So Pikeville's had quite a bit of that. We'll get a little bit closer, show you where that is. That's east of Cold Spring, in the far eastern edge of Bledsoe. That's near Bullwater Logging Road, Porch Rock Road. That's where some of that had been occurring. Same thing south of Crossville on 127 near Burke, Big Lick area. Again, with that dark blue indicates about 1 inch in diameter, quarter size hail. And again, with those cells coming in out of southern middle Tennessee, same thing. We see that dark blue, but the size of a quarter, which is the threshold for severe hail. So there you go. Put all our layers back on, start with the lightning and the warnings and the radar. There we go. We'll track this cell for you. This one approaching Spring City. Man, it's another round of heavy rain. That's moving to the east at 25. So we'll put a tracker on that for you. That warning out to 6:45 Central, 7:45 Eastern. So when we track this, keep in mind in 10 Mile, you're already getting heavy rain at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm tracking this leading edge. So 10 Mile, you might be on the track for this, but keep in mind when you see the timeline, you're already getting rain now, but we're going to track that right there. So I'm going to track just that leading edge right there. So there's this movement over the next hour. So again, 10 Mile is raining now, but before 8 Eastern, you're going to get that leading edge of that line that's just west of Spring City. Spring City over the next few minutes, Apollo Shores up in here, far northern part of the county. You'll get that around 7:40. Tranquility, northeast of Decatur, about 8:13. Union Grove, around 8:16. So there's the movement. That leading edge of the storm right there moving east over the next hour. And then right behind right behind these cells from Pikeville to Spring City. I mean, they've just been marching right through here. Here's another one approaching Spencer and Van Buren County. Not severe at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on that one. It is getting a little bigger, kind of growing a bit. And these do extend back to just east and southeast of Nashville. And then you can see these storms here approaching the far western edge of Franklin County. I don't think Franklin's under that warning yet, is it? No, it's just in Lincoln and Moore County. But heads up in Franklin County, these areas east of Suwanee, east of Mont Eagle, where you cross the county line, watch that storm near Fayetteville moving east and northeast. So Tullahoma, Suwanee, Mont Eagle, then the hour that'll be moving in. We'll keep an eye on the severity. And quite a few cells marching along northern Alabama. These are not warnings here. These are advisories, but watch the movement here. See how these down here are moving more like this. And then you got these coming in like this. All right, so there's that upper level system, that clockwise spin moving along. So you'll see more of that turn this way and start coming in from the west. But there's the back edge of all that right there. And that's why this is not going to last all night long, but predominantly through sunset to about midnight west to east and then start to move on out. Also, loss of daytime heating, which will take a while because it was pretty warm today. That will start being a factor, bringing things down just a little bit. But it'll take a while for that to happen. That'll be more toward a late evening. And again, just to show you our main risk factors tonight, all of us are under level 2 slight risk, which means not a widespread risk of severe storms, but they're going to be isolated to scattered locally. So not everybody will see a storm. Some areas will just be quiet and you'll be maybe thinking, what's the big deal? But other areas will see, as we've already seen, north of the city, have seen repetitive rounds of rain and some hail. So damaging wind gusts, large hail are the main factors with this system. There's a very low tornado risk. It's at 2%. So it's not zero, but it is low on the scale. The higher odds are for large hail and damaging winds, as we've already seen. I think once we get beyond 11 o'clock midnight, most of that will start moving this way on off to the east. In fact, here's our future track high-res model. This updates every hour. This shows estimated time around 9 o'clock, so about an hour and a half from now. It shows, again, quite active north and west of the city. Not as much to the south yet. In fact, a lot of the models had more north and less south. And then let's go from 9 to about 11. And there's a sizable shift by 11 o'clock. A lot of that's, off to the east a bit. And then you get to around midnight and it's a lot quieter. Okay. So there'll be quite an active period, but it does indicate that potential is there for areas north to have more than areas to the south. Very possible. You can see the active warnings across northern Monroe, far northern Meigs, Bledsoe and Ray, and now extending into southern parts of Cumberland County. There's a new warning there. So let's go and take a look at that one. Again, it's on that, we tracked this cell. Now there's 2 separate cells, this one and this one. But this new warning for that part of Cumberland County issued just a few moments ago. That'll be out until 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, which includes areas southeast of Crossville. So down the mountain. Crab Orchard, Lake Tansy area. Again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and a quarter-size hail with that. It's moving east at 30. More northeast. Yeah. A lot of folks are asking, see Joshua asking, are we having any capping in the atmosphere? Not really. There's been a lot of heating that any cap is kind of eroded. So that's why we're seeing more of this activity starting to percolate quite a bit more as this upper level system moves on in. So it's starting to pop just a little bit. There was a little bit of a cap earlier on, but now it's kind of eroded. So here's what we're watching back to here moving east. So we'll see, if we get beyond sunset and some loss of heating helps out, we'll see. But all of these have been really feeding off the daytime heating where the cap has been broken a bit. Laura says that storm near Riceville, and I'll go back to here over McMinn County. When that moved over Riceville on the interstate, had heavy rain and hail, stopped as suddenly as it started. All quiet now. And you can see that area in McMinn County is indeed moving away. Again, speaking of the hail, you can see again how heavy that hail was. Let me start this video for you. Presented by Greg Whitehead. So that was a lot of pea-sized hail and how quickly it accumulated on the ground. Anyway, I was trying to isolate that radar, trying to make it bigger for you. Computer's playing games with me tonight. Tends to happen. We'll also take a look at the velocity scan. We've had, some damage and wind gusts are possible with that. Haven't had a whole lot of wind gust reports. Looking inside this is mainly some strong wind gusts with that. Maybe a very broad rotation right there as it moved. I'll show it to you. As it moved near Von Orr. Let me back it up just a little bit. See right there, little broad rotation, which is common with severe storms like that. Strong updraft, producing hail. And we'll take a look at that one near Spring City, also from a velocity point of view. We're looking at the wind or the direction the precipitation is moving within the cell. So that's more of a west to east, kind of straight line wind with that. Same thing with that near Crab Orchard. All right, let's put our hail tracker back on. Again, I like to just remove all the layers so it's not having a lot of confusion on the map there. But you can see there's a little hail core there south of Crab Orchard. It was a little bigger. We see the deep blues here near 127, kind of splitting in two directions. So west of Spring City, is a little pocket of hail there, a little bit larger, southern parts of Cumberland County while you're under that warning. And you can see that potential pocket of larger hail went from Sweetwater right along the county line to just now right along again the county line with Blount County into northern Monroe County. And so some hail here, potentially near Madisonville. Elsewhere, not as much. Looking to the south, got some hail with the storms approaching east of Fayetteville and then approaching western Franklin County. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then went to the south in Jackson County. No, well, a little bit of hail. You can see a little pocket there coming right there near Grant, right along the Tennessee River, south of Scottsboro, over into the Gunnersville area. And you can see that warned storm that was approaching Jackson County, no longer a warned storm. It is now an advisory, but just to read you this, that exit area near Gunnersville and south of Scottsboro could have wind gusts of 40 to 50, so it's below that threshold of a severe storm, and even some penny-sized hail. So we saw a little hail pocket there, so it's not too large, which is good. Otherwise, I mean, it's pretty severe. You can see things picking up a bit in the DeKalb County. It's mainly rain between Collinsville and Fort Payne, but Fort Payne, that's coming in from the southwest, so heavy downpours will come your way. Not much lightning showing up. In the Dade and Walker County, seeing some just percolating right there. As it moved just northeast of Valley Head, right there near Mountain Cove Farm there, on top of Lookout Mountain, right along the Dade Walker County line, got some downpours. So in the Macklemore Cove and up through Cooper Heights, Chickamauga, Lafayette, Kensington, downpours moving in at the moment, not severe. We'll keep an eye if that thing develops a bit more. And around the city, Cleveland, Dalton, not much happening at the moment yet, but all areas locally under that severe thunderstorm watch through the evening. And you can see the march of these storms has been very consistent here. Right along, you go from Spencer to Pikeville, to Spring City to 10 Mile. You got another one coming in. It's been consistent warning for about the past 2.5 hours. Jennifer asked, are the sleeves up? Yeah, sleeves are up. I'm in storm mode. Thank you for asking. Let's see. Joshua asking, are tornado risk higher when it's the southwest to northeast movement? Not necessarily. Movement's one thing, direction. The other thing is having the presence of shear, change in direction and wind speed with height. And there's not a lot of shear with this. There's some north of the city, and that's the reason why it's been so active more north and south, and the reason why they're producing a lot of hail with these storms. But the other factor needed for tornadoes, that remains pretty low right now. I mean, it's in that lowest percentage chance range, so you can't rule out a quick spin up. And I think the highest likelihood, if that was going to happen, would be now and over the next hour or two before loss of daytime heating. So direction is one thing, but it's another thing to have those other ingredients aloft. Steve says, sun's still out in Harrison. Yeah. Lisa, everything is missing Cleveland at the moment. So yeah, storms are moving north of Cleveland. Yes, all of these here, I'll circle it for you. Yes, all of these are staying north of Cleveland. Then we got this back here. That's moving more toward the east. So let's get to the 9 o'clock hour and afterwards where that could be moving in. So we'll keep an eye on that. Anything developing south and west. So yeah, things in Cleveland are good at the moment. They won't stay that way. All right, active warnings locally at the moment. Still pretty active, this part of Monroe County. There's 2 separate warnings. This one on the far northeastern part, which is really exiting the county. That's out to 8 o'clock Eastern, but coming in on its heels is this one, north of Tellico Plains, right along 411. That's also out to the top of the hour, 8 o'clock. Again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, quarter-size hail possible. That is moving to the east at 25. And then you got right behind it, this line of storms here, right around Spring City, the 10 Mile, north of Decatur, all of this area under warning. That is also out until 7:45, roughly the next minute, but it will, they might put an extension on that. We'll see. So we might see this disappear in the next minute. And then just north of there into Cumberland County, coming off the mountain. That's where you have this warned storm near Crab Orchard out till 8 o'clock Eastern. Again, damaging wind gusts, hail, the main factors with these storms moving in. And then back behind it, the outflow from these, sparking this development near Spencer. We'll keep an eye on that. Again, good pockets of heavy rain both north and south of Spencer. So heads up in Crossville. Unfortunately, Spring City, as you get rid of this cell, here comes another one. And there's that warning expired there. We'll see if they reissue a statement or a warning with that. That's still a pretty robust storm there near Spring City. And then, of course, we got this cluster of storms here near Fayetteville and southern Middle Tennessee, getting closer to Franklin County. So we'll keep an eye on that for Franklin County over the next hour. And again, as I mentioned, cells percolating across northeast Alabama, a little bit stronger, a little bit more heavy rain. So, watch the movement of these. And these are moving more northeast. So between 8 and 9, we'll start seeing these kind of creep out of DeKalb and going to Dade, Walker, Chattooga, a little bit more into Walker County. Good question here. Does a storm warning mean you follow the same safety procedures as a tornado? Yes. I've often said if there's a severe thunderstorm warning with damaging wind gust potential, even at 60 miles an hour, I would do the same thing. Get in a safe place in your home away from windows so the storm passes on by. It's a good question to ask. And I always say that. Treat a severe thunderstorm warning as you would a tornado warning because, again, the strong wind gust can bring down a tree. It can cause structural damage. And you want to be in a safe place. So good question there. Thanks for asking that. And if you watch the movement here real quick, real carefully, you can see these cells moving more northeast, and then these kind of moving more toward the west. Same thing with these. And if you look at the whole upper level pattern, I'll show you this radar view here. See the spin right there and the counterclockwise flow right here. Yeah, see that? So that's pushing this on along to the east. So you've got, I've got noted here the upper level flow. So that's coming in from the southwest and then west. So it's kind of going like, you see the motion of the storms. They're following this flow this way. And then these are more going toward this way. There's that low spinning right there. And once this clears out late tonight, tomorrow's going to be a much calmer day. Much calmer day. Tasha asks, is Northwest Georgia going to miss this? I don't think so. You're going to get some storms, and I'll show you why. Let's go back to the view of our viewing area. So Northwest Georgia, not a whole lot's happened over the past couple of hours. It's been a nice evening so far. Got a little development here, Southern Walker. But look down in here. See all these starting to move north and east. They're below severe levels, which is good. You can see them moving more east and northeast. So that's going to start creeping into Dade, Walker, Chattooga, Floyd between now and 9 o'clock. And so things will start picking up across Northwest Georgia. And everybody locally, if you're in our viewing area under that severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock Southeast Tennessee till midnight Northwest Georgia.
Allergic reaction. What's any more Baylor school, at the Baylor school?
Here's another look at some of the hail. This was in Pikeville around 5 o'clock Eastern. This is in Connie Lewis, and you can see, based on that key fob size, that's a pretty large hailstone there, about about a $0.5 size here. So I'd say that's about an inch, inch and a quarter, inch and a half in diameter. So again, very active north of the city, not as much to the south. But again, we've got some individual cells here. They're not, not severe at the moment. And again, as we start getting later, loss of daytime heating, it may limit how strong they get, which would be fine with me. If we just get rain and lightning and nothing more, and we'll keep an eye on these moving more to the east. So we'll keep an eye on Jackson, DeKalb County as these kind of percolate a bit for Chattooga, Walker, Dade over the next hour or so. So we'll keep an eye on this area from these cells right there. All right, here's the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center. And you can see they still kind of outlined most of our viewing area. And I'll read you the text of what it says here. Basically, the threat of severe thunderstorms continues in this area through at least the early evening hours. And again, they do anticipate over the next hour or two some gradual weakening is possible, but still, if you look at that coverage, that includes northwest Georgia, northeast Alabama, southern parts of Middle Tennessee, and areas off to the east for the chance of some the storms to continue. But again, noting that with diurnal cooling, which is loss of daytime heating, there may be some gradual weakening with time. So we'll keep an eye on that trend, especially for those who are across northeast Alabama. So that was issued just a few minutes ago by the Storm Prediction Center. There you go. Bit of an advisory here over southern parts of DeKalb County. And again, this is for wind gusts about 40 to 50. They are moving northeast at 20. So again, cross for areas in northwest Georgia. Let's do a quick tracker on that. So we will track. Oh, sorry. So we'll track this cell here. Moving northeast at 20. So if that cell south of Fort Payne continues moving that general direction, Fort Payne around 6:55, notice central versus eastern time. So close to 8 o'clock Eastern, Wills Valley, which is around the Fort Payne area, around 8 o'clock Eastern. Menlo across the state line, 8:27. All right, so that'll be the general movement over the next hour for this cell just south of Fort Payne. Lafayette, little downpour, nothing to write home about. Watering the garden. And then we still have these active cells and warnings here. Let's take a look at that cell near Spring City. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning out to 8:30. That is moving to the east at 20. Quarter-size hail, the main hazard with this. Look at our hail tracker in a second. But let me track this storm. East at 20. There's a movement over the next hour, all in Eastern time. Evansville just for 8 o'clock. Actually, you're hearing that now. 10 Mile Again, another round of storms. All right, 8:18. Acme Mill, just to east of Tranquility here, right? 8:51. So here's the movement over the next hour. And look at the outflow from this cell here, the one that's near Madisonville. Look what it's doing there near Athens. Athens, Nyota, boom, right there. Another quick round of heavy downpours. Nothing severe with that yet, but that cell there, still pretty active around Madisonville. And that warning for Madisonville is also out till 8 o'clock Eastern, roughly the next 5 minutes. We'll see if they hold on to that warning. All right, let's look at the hail tracker. Check these cells for hail. And you can see, look at Monroe County. Look at those pockets of hail. And we see that deep blue. That's over an inch, inch and a quarter, inch and a half. Some of that now, southern Blount County, still ongoing hail. North of Tellico Plains, just off 411. And other pockets, again, pea size, marble size here and there. In and around Sweetwater. Let's check back some of these cells back here. Still getting some pockets of hail south of Spring City. It's been a night like that. Several hail-producing storms moving by. That's in Ray County right now. It's on the mountain. That little pocket of hail is. Same thing east of Crossville, near Crab Orchard. That's get that deep blue. Let me pause that. It's about an inch in diameter. Quarter size, potentially. But not as much farther south. With the cells down here, there's a little pocket of small hail possible south of Fort Payne. But again, that's more the pea size, penny size right there. But keep an eye on that. And we'll see if it grows anymore. But that's a quick look at the hail tracker. And again, all of these are thunderstorm advisories, not warnings, but advisories across DeKalb County into Jackson County from these cells to the south and west as they march north and east. We'll see if they continue to grow a bit, but do be aware downstream, Chattooga, Walker, Dade, catching some of this as it moves in between now and, say, 9 o'clock. And we got these cells here that have been very slow movers. You know, it's like it's reached a force field along the Franklin County line, but still active warning there. That's for Lincoln and Moore County till 8:15 Eastern. We'll see if they extend a warning into Franklin County. And again, this cell that developed in Van Buren, no warning or advisory with that. Mainly heavy rain. Again, around the city, not much going on. Things are quiet. It's been a beautiful evening, nice and warm. Travis asking, how bad is Fort Payne supposed to get? Well, let's look at Fort Payne right now. You got a cell just to the south of you, so Fort Payne's going to get a little windy. It's not a severe cell, but there's a little bit of small hail with it, heavy rain, and some wind gusts. So Fort Payne, that's moving your way in the next 5 minutes. So time just to go inside. Not much lightning with it, but you know, the thunder roars heading doors, okay? Trying to make the radar a little bit bigger for you to see, okay? Wanda says weather radio has been going crazy, going off a lot. Wanda, what's your location? I imagine you're somewhere Ray, Bledsoe, Monroe, north of the city. Let me know where you are. You are very welcome, Travis. Let's take a look at the wind and hail reports out for the night so far. So here we go. Quite a bit of hail reports. You can see, and you can see again, it's been very common north of the city. Let's take a look at some of these hail reports here. Now we saw some of the hail with pictures there. Ping pong size hail around 7:07 Eastern in Bledsoe County near Pikeville. North of 10 Mile there. Ping pong ball size, 6:26 Eastern time. It's been a march of storms moving through there. Sweetwater. Let's take a look at that. Quarter size near Sweetwater. That happened just before 7 o'clock Eastern, just over the past hour. And a lot of reports of wind and hail around Nashville, but it's been very limited locally to just the far northern fringe of our viewing area, not much farther down to the south. And just a reminder, all areas locally under severe thunderstorm watch across southeast Tennessee, western North Carolina, that's out to 11 Eastern. And again, by that time, a lot of this will be ending rapidly. And across northwest Georgia, just out till midnight, because it's, that's extending farther east, eastern counties there. So it'll be, about the same time expiring. Again, I don't anticipate this being all night, predominantly for the evening hours. There's a live radar view as we've been tracking those warnings in the northern fringe of our viewing area. These here, the hail producers, big gap of nothing through here. And keep an eye on these cells. Watch the movement. They're moving northeast. So we'll, so far kind of holding their own. A lot more lightning showing up though. So it's maybe starting to intensify a bit. So heads up for northwest Georgia across Dade, Walker, Chattooga as these storms move in. And of course, we're watching this warned storm over Lincoln County moving into Franklin County. We'll see if they extend that warning there as that warning's about to expire. Across McMinn County, pretty active right now, but this part of the cell east of Athens to Etowah, not severe, although raining heavily. It's more this cell here, northeast of Pelican Plains into Monroe County. But you do have this cell near Spring City. So that area from Spring City to Decatur, that small polygon warning remains in effect till 8:30 Eastern. It's moving only east at 20. So again, quarter size hail, the big problem with that cell. Let's do a quick tracker on that for you. Gonna track the northern edge, eastern edge of that. So there's its movement over the next hour. It's going to be going over areas that have already seen rain and quite a bit of hail already. 10 Mile at 8:20. Eventually, the cell from Spring City to Evansville will be near Sweetwater by 9 o'clock. So there's the movement over the next hour. Wanda. I was asking where Wanda lives. Her weather radio's been going off a lot. Dayton, yeah. Ray County's had quite a bit. That's true. That's the reason why your weather radio's going off. But it's doing its job. That's a good thing. I'm glad to hear that, though, that you have it turned on. Those things are great to have. They'll wake you up if you have an alert.
I'll put down how they voted.
Hello, Candace. Thanks for watching, Candace. I appreciate your kind words. All right, let's see. Now we got this new warning here, and that cell coming out of Van Buren County right there. So you got two separate warnings here. Let's take a look at that. This one for northern Bledsoe, just issued. This is for northeastern Bledsoe, that cell that's north of Pikeville, moving east at 35. Quarter size hail potentially with that. So it's that cell just north of Pikeville. Then you got this warning here, which extends into southern Cumberland, also just issued momentarily. It's out till 7:30. Lake Tansy and Lantana. These are repeated rounds going through that area. So these storms are moving east at 25, and you can see the cell causing the warning there. So it's kind of odd when it crosses through several boundaries. I have to issue several different polygons, but it's for that cell right there. And when they start forming in a line like this, wind gusts become more the problem. It's because you can get some bowing segments along the lines. You get some strong wind gusts. So we'll track that. That's moving east a little faster at 35. I'm going to track the leading edge of this. East at 35. Now keep in mind, Spring City, it's already raining. Okay. So we're tracking the cell behind it. Okay. So this is where this cell is now in Van Buren. This is where it's going to move over the next hour. So Bellevue around 7:05. Note again, Central versus Eastern time. Edgewood Hills around 8:38. Spring City around 8:40. Again, it's already raining in Spring City, but around 8:40, this next round moving your way. And then all the way east to Blue Springs around just before 9 o'clock Eastern. So please note Central versus Eastern time. There we go for Franklin County. Finally, let's make some movement. For Franklin County now under that severe thunderstorm warning. That just issued a few minutes ago. That's for Franklin County, be more specific, Central Franklin County out till 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. It's moving east at 20, 60 mile an hour wind gusts and $half size hail. We'll look at the hail tracker coming up. But that's where the storm is now. The center of that storm was located near Lynchburg, moving east at 20. So you can see they're talking about this cell right here, right there. So let's do a quick track on that, on the leading edge of that. So yeah, it'll be mainly in that polygon through Central Franklin County over the next hour. So this is all Central time. So Winchester around 7:34. Belvedere, 7:27 Central. So it'll be just west of Swanee by 9 o'clock. But for that new warning in Franklin County, there's the movement. These are all in Central time. So again, that's a new warning for Franklin County. We've been anticipating that, watching that cell move in from the west. Let's take look at there. That cell did get a little bit stronger. So these things are starting to pop rather rapidly. DeKalb County, Alabama, now under severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Fort Payne and then going up Pine Ridge, west of the city there, out till 7:45 Central, 8:45 Eastern. Storm moving to the east at 15 as a slow mover, 60 mile an hour wind gust and quarter size hail. And that's for DeKalb County till 7:45 Central, 8:45 Eastern. So there's that cell. Someone was asking about Fort Payne, and there you go. You got this area near Adamsburg, which is on Lookout Mountain, east of Fort Payne. That extends up Highway 35. Pine Ridge is right here, up 35 between Fort Payne and before you get to Sand Mountain. So Pine Ridge is right there. So Pine Ridge under that warning, same thing towards Fort Payne. That cell is moving east at 15. We'll watch the hourly movement. It's kind of an east-northeasterly movement there. So we'll track the movement over the next hour. There's that leading edge right there. So it'd be crossing that state line. We've been saying kind of heads up for Chattooga, Dade, Walker, and kind of here's why. That cell holds together. It'll be going into far western parts of Chattooga over near Menlo before 9 o'clock. So please note Central versus Eastern. So this will be going up on Lookout Mountain, east of Fort Payne, these communities there. And then toward Menlo in Chattooga County here, right about 9 o'clock Eastern. So 60 mile an hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. So speaking of hail, let's go ahead and take a look at our hail tracker one more time. Current hail. We'll take out all the layers here and just isolate the hail. yeah, you can see a little pocket of hail there near Fort Payne. So hail very possible with that. Again, we're seeing more hail, a little bit in the southern part of DeKalb County, but still up in here where it's been really, really big, larger size hailstones. All these little pockets of hail right along the northern part of Monroe County, northern McMinn, into Cumberland County, so pretty large there, just northeast of Crab Orchard. And that cell coming out of Van Buren into Bledsoe, pockets of hail there. And to the south, these are just now getting some stronger updrafts with it where they're developing. And that's the reason why we're seeing near Crossville and DeKalb County and in around Fort Payne, pockets of hail starting to show up. So these have been pretty strong. And now south of Fort Payne, that cell near Collinsville, hail producer we just mentioned, they issued another warning for that. That was just issued. This is for the southern part of DeKalb County. So DeKalb County has two severe thunderstorm warnings there for two separate cells. That one is right over Crossville, moving east at 30, a little faster, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, and quarter-size hail. So this cell near Fort Payne has a warning moving more east-northeast, and this cell near Collinsville moving east-northeast. So keep an eye on that in Cherokee County, north of Weiss Lake. But again, looking downstream, where are these going? Well, heads up Chattooga County. Okay, heads up southern Walker County. And you can see a new polygon just issued for Jackson County, Alabama. Let's take a look there. And so all these cells that are right there along the Franklin-Lincoln County line. So this includes a far northwest corner of Jackson County. That is out till 8:15 Central, 9:15 Eastern. More specifically, this is for northwestern Jackson County. Again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail. This moving east at 30. So again, looking at the warnings. Over to DeKalb County, we'll keep an eye on that for Chattooga, Walker, Dade. And then we got these cells here that have been very slow movers from Franklin into northern Jackson. So heads up northeastern Jackson and western parts of Marion. You get toward the 9 o'clock Eastern time hour, 8 o'clock Central time hour. We'll see those start to creep in. Same thing across Chattooga, southern Walker. We'll get into, say, 8:30 and 9 Eastern. Those starting to move in. And, we'll keep an eye on that. We zoom out a bit. Things do calm down a bit the farther west you go. West of 65, these are no longer as severe. A lot of it's tapping into a lot of the energy that's there. But again, it's noted by the Storm Prediction Center. And as I mentioned earlier, loss of daytime heating, the diurnal cooling, as we call it, will start easing the energy. But that takes a little slow process. It's not something that'll happen instantly. Kathy asking for a future scan. We'll look at the future scan momentarily. They update every hour. Okay. So we just had one scan come in. I'm waiting for that full scan to come through to show you the future track. But a lot of times when you're looking at radar view, you have to nowcast, because looking at the future tracks, a lot of times they're going to be skewed a little slower. So the high res short range models aren't going to be as accurate as it is tracking each individual storm. That's why I'm trying to show each individual storm's track more than we're showing the high res. And I'll show you the high res as an example. Watch where the storms are now. So it's now 8:13 Eastern. See where they are now. Now, if we put the high res model out there, let me back it up to where it starts. Oh, come on back. So you can see around 8:45, this is kind of where it shows it here. So it's a little behind, okay? So this shows 8:45 roughly, a little behind there. But you get around 11 o'clock, you see the larger cluster of storms exiting to the east. And then beyond midnight, things are a lot calmer. That's the overall general outlook, not each individual cell. So when we look at future track on current radar, I like to track each individual cell. That's a bit more accurate. They're showing those hourly high-res updates. No worries, Catherine. You're welcome. Don't be nervous. That's what we're here for. Yeah, folks, we got a few. I've noticed some people told me we got a few commenters on here that are kind of trolling a bit. We're trying to correct that as I go. Just try to keep people. We don't need that on our comments. So I'm trying to take care of that for you. Best thing to do is just kind of ignore some of that. All right, let's go back here to Athens to Etowah. That's still a pretty impressive cell right there. No warning on that particular cell. Look at the velocity within that thing. Yeah, it's pretty burst of pretty strong wind gusts there. Etowah, up here on 411. You've seen repeat. This is like round 3 of these storms. Let's see if there's any hail with that one. Take off the layers here just for a minute. Yeah, there's some pockets of hail there. This is east of Sweetwater, east of Athens to Etowah. So still getting some pockets of hail, still pretty good in Monroe County.
Don't understand where the confusion was.
All right. So that particular cell, not a warning with it, but it is a hail producer there. So you go from Etowah, crossing McMinn, from McMinn into Monroe County, Arden, Madisonville, Natchee Creek, Mecca. This is right along 64. Excuse me, 68. Not 64, 68 through Madisonville, where it intersects 411.
Thank you.
All right. I'll show you some new hail photos here we just got in. Let's see. I'm going to show you this new video we just got in from Watts Bar Lake. That's from Chris McCosh, Watts Bar. Oh, look at that. It's near Watts Bar Lake. You can see it. Pea-sized hail there, but not only that, tremendous downpours. Look at that. Seeking shelter there. Looks like just off the river there, just off the lake. I'll let it roll through one more time. There you go. You see that. You see it knocking the leaves off the trees. Boy, that causes, even the smallest hail causes damage like that. see the steam there where it's so warm today, but that's where the hail's hitting. It's causing that condensation. That's from Chris McCosh, Watts Bar Lake. Look at the hailstones hitting the lake there. Good video there. Thanks for sending that. There we go. So we got one more. Let me show you one more video here. All right, here's one more view. This is from Rebecca Tumlin, Evansville Mountain, Ray County, Tennessee. Pretty much the same, pea-size hail. Again, this is from Evansville Mountain. So Rebecca Tumlin sending that in. So very similar to what they had on Watts Bar Lake. So that's in Ray County. And here's the bit of a warning they just extended there. They extend that one from McMinn, yeah. Just issued a few minutes ago as we were showing the video. But that's the cell we've been focused on. McMinn and Monroe County. This is be specific, East Central McMinn, Southwestern Monroe, out till 9:15 Eastern time. Severe thunderstorm warning for that area. The storm located near Etowah, about 10 miles south of Madisonville, moving east at 20. Quarter-size hail, the main issue with that storm. Not a big wind threat, but a lot of hail with that. That could cause some damage. So that's headed towards Tellico Plains. Again, this warning out until 9:15 Eastern time. So heads up Madisonville. Another round of storms coming your way. All right, let's take a look at this one at Fort Payne. And you got two separate warnings here. But we'll take a look at this one. This is east of Fort Payne. Here's the update on this one issued a few minutes ago. That's out till 7:45 Central, 8:45 Eastern. That cell right now over Fort Payne and just east onto Lookout Mountain. So again, it's going to be heading into starting raining in Chattooga County, but we'll keep an eye on that for Chattooga and on into southern Walker County. And there's that cell near Collinsville, moving more east. It doesn't look as intense as it once was, but still pretty strong. Respect the polygon. As long as that polygon is in effect and you're within it, stay in your safe place. People noting how the hail looks like snow, and it does. But as I mentioned earlier, again, hail is not a wintertime precipitation. It can happen any month of the year. It can happen in the winter too, but it's predominantly a warm season type precipitation. It sounds odd. Ice coming down, it's 80 degrees, but that's how it forms with those strong updrafts. And here's this slow moving cell. Boy, this has been slow one to track. That's causing this warning here over southern Franklin and northern Jackson County out till 8:15 Central. Again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust potential and quarter-size hail. That is moving to the east at 30. It's picked up a little speed. So we'll isolate it and we'll track it because that's going to start impacting more northern Jackson and potentially into Marion County with time. Yeah, you can see as we expand, this is the hourly movement. Notice this is all central time. So Winchester currently, Suwannee just before 8 Central, about 7:49 Central. Orem just after 9 o'clock Eastern. South Pittsburgh around 8:20 Central, if it holds together. That's a cell right along Highway 64, moving into Franklin County near Winchester. So Suwannee, Orem, South Pittsburgh. Be aware of that cell moving your way. It's going to be making a lot of noise. When the thunder roars, head indoors. Could be hail producer. Not only that, heavy rain, lots of lightning. Good news is he sails back behind here, back toward Pulaski, Ardmore to Athens, kind of weakening a little bit. So maybe these have zapped some energy out. Of course, it is cooling with the evening air, so hope so. Especially on northern counties, need a break. My goodness. Let's again look at the storm reports for the night so far. These are the only ones that, reported by storm spotters. So we've already seen some video from other areas that have seen quite a bit of hail. But here's an example. This is near Crab Orchard, I believe. 1 inch diameter hail, around 7:49 Eastern. This was near 10 Mile. 1.5 inch ping pong ball and $50 size. That's 6:26 Eastern. And look at all these reports in northern Monroe. Let's look at that one right on the county line. Those were big. Quarter size near Von Orr. Near Madisonville, almost golf ball size, ping pong ball size, close to 2 inch diameter. And near Sweetwater, 1 inch diameter. And just a reminder, all areas locally under severe thunderstorm watch till late evening. As I mentioned before, northwest Georgia, western North Carolina out to 11 o'clock Eastern. And across northwest Georgia till midnight. Okay. And I think beyond that time, 11 to midnight, a lot of start trending away to the east a bit. A lot of severity will start dying down a bit. So not lasting all night long, not keeping you up all night. And tomorrow's a calmer day. A lot calmer. I'm still watching, and I'll show it when we're not tracking storms here. I'm still watching the weekend. Saturday's going to be kind of weird. It's going to be cloudy, but I really think if you live south of the city, and I'm talking about Saturday, down in here, Lafayette, Somerville, Calhoun, you're going to have some rain Saturday afternoon. Chattanooga North, not so much on Saturday. But it's going to be a lot different north to south. And because of that, it'll be a lot cooler south, too, with temperatures in the 60s. So that's on Saturday. Nothing severe. But it could wreck your outdoor plans on Saturday. Okay. So the warnings currently, and we'll put the movement there. We got warnings across DeKalb County, across Franklin and Jackson County, Cumberland, Northern Ray and Bledsoe, Northern Ray and Meigs, and all these in eastern Monroe. All of these have been hail producers, not big wind producers. Okay. A lot of lightning with it, a lot of very heavy rain. So let's start over here to the east. That storm near Tellico Plains moving to the east. This warning here for Tellico Plains, you're still under that warning polygon until 9:15 Eastern time. Be aware, as you're seeing now, heavy rain, lightning, and quarter-size hail possible with that storm. And that northern part of the cell, the far northern part, where it goes into Blount County, out till 8:45 Eastern. Same thing, quarter-size hail potentially with that. All right, let's go with this cell right here. That's about to exit out of that polygon. Decatur looks like, for you, you're under that warning polygon. It looks like most of that storm is to the north of you near 10 Mile. But nevertheless, this warning out until 8:30 is about to expire. But in 10 Mile, it's still pretty rough. A lot of lightning with that cell, still a potential for some hail crossing Highway 58. Sorry for that zoom in. For Cumberland County, got a couple of cells here. Southern part of the county, that's about to exit out. Is for that cell right there, which is now east of 127. It's Lake Tansy, Lantana area. That's out to 8:30 Eastern, next 2 minutes. But just north of there near Crab Orchard, and we showed you where some hail had fallen with the storm. That particular warning out also till 8:30. So we'll see if the National Weather Service continues the warnings for those. For all of this along the Van Buren Bledsoe line, a little bit weaker. It's still raining. It's making a lot of noise, but it's not severe. Now let's go farther south into Franklin County, Estill Springs, Winchester, down to Huntland. This line of storms moving in could be producing hail. So it's got 2 polygons with it. One over Franklin County to just west of Sweetwater, Swanee. I said that 3 times over. That's out till 9 Eastern. And for Jackson County, that's out till 8:15 Central. Next 45 minutes. Now going into DeKalb County, 2 cells here. It appears to be that one east of Fort Payne on Lookout Mountain seems to be a little stronger than that one in Collinsville. But heads up in Chattooga County. We've been talking about that for the past 30, 45 minutes. So you're watching some of that start creeping in your way. So you got some rain and lightning and hail potential coming your way. So all of that will be creeping into Chattooga, maybe even southern Walker County during the 8:30 to 9 o'clock hour. And as we look at this, it's very active on the leading edge where it's been feeding off some of the daytime heating going on. But notice back here, and I'll circle it, all this area on I-65 and west of the plateau back in here, not so bad. Not so bad. That's a good sign. That's a real good sign. Things are a little bit calmer out in there. All right, Misty says been hailing in Madisonville for the last hour, quarter size. Thanks for that report. Hello, Pastor McCaskill, watching from Athens. Appreciate you watching. Yeah, Caitlin, I hope it's nice for Mother's Day too. There might be a shower chance. I think, though, it might trend a little drier for Mother's Day. I'm concerned about Saturday with some rain, though, especially south of the city. Nothing severe, but just irritating for outdoor activities. So everybody gets mad at me. It's okay. It comes with the territory. All right. Warnings have been allowed to expire, although we'll watch this. From Crossville to Spring City to 10 Mile. You know, these areas have had, I think this is around 4. I really do. Since 5 o'clock this afternoon, I think this is the 4th round of storms move on by. Still very noisy. A lot of lightning, heavy rain, but not as much of a large hail threat. So maybe producing some small hail, but they did not extend the warnings. It did go into Roane County near Harriman, but again, that's going outside of our viewing area. But if you live in Harriman, be aware of that cell coming out of Cumberland County could be a hail producer there, Harriman up to Oak Ridge. But again, these have been allowed to expire. We'll see if there's other advisories issued. And again, this is still out for Monroe County. It's heading into the higher terrain of eastern Monroe County. Again, this is still out till 8:45. And the one over Tellico Plains out till 9:15. So I got another 45 minutes or so before it clears on out of that part of Monroe County. Again, Cleveland, Chattanooga, Dalton. It's okay. It's been a great evening. Good porch sitting type weather. It's been warm, a little breeze, not too bad. But that's the pattern of this as we expected. It's more of a scattered pattern. Olivia Glass and I were talking about this earlier on today, talking about how, what we think the pattern will be like. And I told her, I said, I think this is going to be more of a scattered storm situation than it will be a widespread one. So there's going to be many areas that are hard to see anything. And we'll be saying, well, what was all the hullabaloo about? But for other areas, like we saw north of the city, it's been repeated rounds of hail producers after hail producers. So it depends on where you are. You'll be going to work tomorrow, talk about the stormy night. While for others, it'd be like, I didn't have it. But that's the scattered nature of all this. But that's where that slight risk, we talk about a level 1, level 2. Slight risk is like that. It's more isolated to scattered. You get to the level 3, level 4, then you start having more areas having the showers and storms pretty equally. Let me show you again. Let's see. Let's take a look at so So this hail, this is from Evansville Mountain. It was on the mountain there in Ray County. Let me start that video. A lot of pea-sized hail. And then this is from Chris McCosh. This was from Watts Bar Lake. Boy, look at that. You see it hitting the water there in the lake. You see the steam coming off the ground. It was, the temperatures in the 80s, and these hailstones hit, and you get condensation immediately, so it really cools down. And you could have temperature drop of 25, 30 degrees when this happens. No day for a picnic there. I think Chris is under a shelter here taking that video, but as always, take video safely. Look at those hailstones hitting the lake right there at Watts Bar Lake. So Chris, thanks for sending that in to us. If you want to send us your video or still images, just go to our News Channel 9 webpage, click on the Chime In link, and you can send it right there and get it on the air. Just like that. All right. So again, we've had a little bit of good news here. These warnings have been allowed to expire from Crossville to Spring City to 10 Miles, still very noisy. So still these active warnings now from Tellico Plains and east, and then the active kind of sliver warnings here where they're kind of narrowing that to the state line in DeKalb County, and then this one over Franklin County. So it's kind of like these clusters right through here. Still a few cells near Guntersville, kind of picking up steam a little bit. These are going to be creeping into southern Jackson County. So they're below severe levels, but we'll see if they're still growing or if they're kind of just maintaining their strength. Let's go down here to DeKalb County because, again, this cell is going to be going into Chattooga County. That warning out by the next 9 minutes. See, that's Central Time. Let's do a little tracker on this because it's now crossing into North Georgia. So we'll track the leading edge of that storm right there. It's right reaching Menlo. So Menlo, the next few minutes, you're on the leading edge of it already, 8:41 Eastern. Barryton, 8:54, right at 9 o'clock in Somerville, right here, trying around 9:12. So this is the movement over the next hour for this cell in DeKalb County. History of producing some small hail, heavy rain and lightning. So it could be impacting southern Walker and parts of Chattooga within the hour. Well, now into the next hour. And that cell near Collinsville, it may move into the far southern parts of Chattooga, northern Floyd County, right just north of Weiss Lake right there. All right, let's look at this cell here. This is moving through Franklin County. And that warning out for that part of Franklin and northern parts of Jackson till 9:15 Eastern, 8:15 Central. Moving east at 30. So it's just to the west of Suwanee right now. So it's moving over the next hour, probably take it about as far east as Nickajack Lake, probably. So Suwanee in the next few minutes, 7:48, about 10 minutes away. Monteagle around 7:56. This is all Central Time. Tracy City around 8:08. South Pitt around 8:20, 9:20 Eastern, 8:20 Central. So there's your movement over the next hour for that cell slowly moving through Franklin County. hopscotch over here to Monroe County. So a pretty active cell there in the Tellico Plains. And you see where another cell kind of merging with that. So it means more time of heavy rain. But these two warnings out for Tellico Plains is out till 9:15 Eastern. And the cell north of there, going up to Lanier, that's out to 8:45, so roughly the next 6 minutes. And again, still pretty noisy. Spring City to Crossville to 10 Mile, all that heavy rain occurring. So pretty noisy, but all these are below severe levels. Let's look at something else here. I'll take the layers off here for a second. Let's look at the estimated rainfall. Look at the past 3 hours. Okay, this is the past 3 hours rainfall. Look at these repeated rounds, just in 3 hours' time. Right there, were southern parts of Cumberland, northern parts of Bledsoe, 3.8 inches of rain. Spring City, around 3. 10 Mile, about an inch. Again, this is just the past 3 hours. That's a lot of water in a short period of time. Please be aware of that in any area experiencing a lot of runoff. And again, into Monroe County, in around Madisonville, 2.2. It's going to be about over 3. No, about 2.2 there too. Again, just a 3 hour rainfall total. And then not as much. These areas through here, not quite as much. But yeah, there's a 3 hour rainfall total alone. We'll zoom in just a little bit closer. Right along the Cumberland and Bledsoe County line. 3.8 north of Spring City up to Grandview. Close to 3 inches just in the past 3 hours alone. All right. Advisory just went up. This is for that same area we just tracked that storm. For southern Walker and Chattooga County, again, this is a step below severe thunderstorm warning, but do be aware of this. This is for a storm that could produce gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour. Penny-sized hail and lots of cloud-to-ground lightning. Again, that's moving to the northeast at 20. So Somerville, Tryon, Lyerly, Menlo, Center Post, Cloudland, Barryton, all be aware of that storm moving through. Again, more specifically, this is for southwestern Walker and a large part of Chattooga County. So at the moment, Peachtree City not anticipating to carry over a severe thunderstorm warning. So they're going to keep it a thunderstorm advisory there. Because that warning here expires shortly, does it not? We're at 8:43. Yes, it expires in 2 minutes. The one south of there, southern DeKalb, south of Fort Payne over near Collinsville, that expires top of the hour, 9 Eastern. And again, these cells behind it are not severe. They've had advisories near Grant and Gunnersville, but they're headed more to the east. So they'll probably stay south of Scottsboro. But again, Fort Payne, Henniger, all this area on Sand Mountain, you're going to have more rain, lightning coming your way. I don't know. That cell near Grant may creep towards Scottsboro. So you're going to have some rain coming your way in Scottsboro, southern Jackson. But at this point, these are staying below severe levels. So again, they're noisy, but not too severe. And again, these two warnings for Jackson and Franklin County out till 8:15 Eastern, another 30 minutes there. And the one in Winchester, that part of Franklin County, yes, we know it's 7:43. That's not what we're asking. That's out to the top of the hour, 9 o'clock Eastern. Again, all these areas here, it is just noisy As I showed you, 2 to 3 inches of rain in many of those spots. So watch for flash flooding. But again, those are below severe levels, moving east and northeast. All right, so one warning over northern Monroe has expired. So the one that was up here is expired. It's gone now into the higher terrain here. Get my cursor out. There we go. But this one remains active, although the worst of that looks to be just east of Telecom Plains now. But again, you're under that warning until 9:15. So there's more rain coming in. So do be aware of that. Don't let down your guard yet. And again, across North Georgia, I'm watching this cell right here. It's causing this advisory to go through this area between now and 9:15. So it's right along the state line, almost to Menlo. Not quite as rough as it once was. There's movement over the next hour. All Eastern time since you're now into Georgia. So Menlo, the next minute, it's already raining heavily. Barryton, just east of there, around 9:05. Somerville around 9:10. Walnut Grove, Suttles Mill, these areas in southeastern Walker County, 9:30, 9:43, respectively. And again, appears to be below severe levels. Again, as we've noted, that now beyond sunset, that loss of daytime heating, the storms using up a lot of the energy, things may start calming down. But I just anticipate the next hour, 2 hours, things will generally calm a little bit. But between 11 p.m. and midnight, that's when a lot of this will kind of start shifting east and moving away. It's not lasting all night long. And again, it's on a scattered basis. Not everybody's going to see this. Okay. Again, there'll be many areas that hardly see a thing. Others, like especially north of the city, got a lot. Heavy rain, lightning, and all that hail. Off to the south, it's mainly rain and lightning at the moment. But there'll be many areas in between, hardly a drop. That's how it goes sometimes. Again, these moving into Jackson and western DeKalb, not severe, but kind of an east-northeast movement. So, yeah, Scottsboro, right along the Tennessee River here, right there. Right along Highway 72. You can get some rain and lightning, though nothing severe. It doesn't appear to be intensifying. Again, we'll keep an eye on this as it starts to near the border with Marion County. Up here in Grundy County, Tracy City, Greeley Lager, and then eventually Dunlap. We got some showers coming in, but it doesn't appear to be bad. I think most of this may stay just south of you. So this line approaching Suwanee now does have heavy rain and hail potential. So I do anticipate the 8 o'clock hour Central Time, 9 o'clock hour Eastern, moving into Marion County.
Yeah, that's for the final.
Brooke asking, is this the main line of concern for Tryon? At the moment, it is, Brooke, but you got this moving in. It's below severe levels, but back behind this, there's some other pockets of rain and lightning. So while you will see in Tryon in this part of Chattooga County a little noisy, it might be a little noisy back behind it, but it doesn't appear to be getting intensifying. So yes, it may be the main line, not the only line. Okay, this might be the strongest of these clusters. Okay. in this particular cell here, that's moving to the east at 30. Let's do a quick track on that because it's now approaching the border of Marion County. There we go. So the next hour, that's where this cell is going to be moving. So Mont Eagle in the next few minutes at the top of the hour. Orm, just after 8 o'clock Central. And these are all Central time. Long Island, 8:27. Whiteside at 8:45 Central. So what's left of that could approach if it holds together. Hamilton County, Chattanooga, 10 o'clock, about 10 o'clock or so. Velocity scan, mainly straight line winds with that. Okay, let's take a look at our hail, which I have a feeling a lot of the hail production is going to be coming down since we're losing the daytime heating a bit. Those thermal updrafts not quite as strong. Yeah, we got a little hail there. Western Franklin, so be aware of that toward, we mentioned Orm and South Pittsburgh. You might have a little hail coming in. But still, that's a pretty productive storm. This area in here, starting to see the hail production come down. That's good. Still a little bit of pockets of hail east of Tellico Plains with that ongoing warning there until 9:15. And into the south, let's look at that pocket there moving into Cobb County. A little bit east of Collinsville. I see a little pocket, a little pea-sized hail there. They'll be heading into Cherokee County, Alabama. But in that cell moving into Chattooga, Walker, not so much. Don't be surprised, you might have some, but it's not really reflecting too well on the radar. So at least we're seeing that element come down a bit. Little sign of weakening, just a tad. So again, that warning that was out for that particular cell near Fort Payne is now moved into Chattooga. It seems to be below severe levels, but still rain and lightning be an issue. And we'll watch that cell right there near Galesville, Weiss Lake area. That could impact southern Chattooga and the northern part of Floyd County within the hour. And again, this activity that's over near Grant, right along the Jackson County line, they just put out an advisory that moves in. Again, this is a special weather statement out till 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. Could have gusts of 40 to 50, even a little penny-sized hail. So again, that's Scottsboro, Sylvania, Powell. So Scottsboro and then up on Sand Mountain. Be aware of that over the next 30 minutes or so. It's going to get a little noisy, a little stormy, but again, anticipation is it'll be below severe levels.
Now, hey, for A5, when you say weather and BAM, are you wanting the weather cam?
I'm wanting like the weather vision, like double.
And again, we still noted the radar showing still some pockets of hail there east of Tellico Plains, and still really heavy rain here where it extends southward, right where it borders Polk County. This still out till 9:15, that particular warning with that cell there. Another 20 minutes or so.
Oh shoot, that's already. Hey Josh. Dave? Yeah, I had D4 in my A block. You want me to just save for sports then?
And again, there's that noisy cluster of storms, still below severe levels, thankfully. But we just needed to stop raining because these areas have seen way too much rain. Hello, Brittany, watching Chattooga County. Brittany, we just mentioned Chattooga. We'll go back to it momentarily, though. Haven, I don't see a big for asking for Ottawa tornado threat. Tornado threat is very low with this system, very low. So it's mainly if the storm over Marion moving into Hamilton gets as far east as Ottawa and eastern Hamilton, I anticipate some rain and lightning and some wind gusts, but the tornado threat remains pretty low. We're watching it though. Let's know if anything changes there. But that threat for now is pretty low. Hello, Anita, watching from Eaton, Georgia. So the strongest cell locally, that one here, Eastern Monroe, that's heading into the mountainous terrain, right along the Tennessee-North Carolina border, near the Cherry-Hill Skyway. Oh, and that warning did expire. They expired that warning. Good. So it's dropped below severe levels. It's still raining heavily, Tellico Plains, and a lot of lightning, but now that cell's below severe levels. But be aware of flash flooding. So yeah, we're seeing fewer and fewer warnings. All right. Here's that warning now for northeastern Jackson County. This issued just a few moments ago. It's for that same cell that's moving across Franklin, trailing into northern parts of Jackson. New severe thunderstorm warning out for northeastern Jackson, northeastern DeKalb, and southeastern Franklin County. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail still possible. That storm moving east at 30. That's a brand new severe thunderstorm warning out for another hour. 9 Central, 10 Eastern. So again, let's track that storm. Here's a leading edge right almost on the Marion County line. We'll see if Marion is involved in any warning here. And there's this movement over the next hour. So it could move into portions of Dade and Marion. Notice Central versus Eastern. So Orem around 8:06 Central. And as far east as Trenton around 9:50 Eastern time. In case you're wondering, it's 2-1 Atlanta in the top of the 7th. There are 2 outs. Reds have a runner at first. But the Bravos up 2-1. So we're going to keep an eye on Marion. We'll see if the National Weather Service follows suit with a warning here, or if they hold with an advisory, because this is still a pretty strong storm here. So National Weather Service in Huntsville has extended the warning for this all the way to the state line with both Tennessee and Georgia. And again, across other areas across northeast Alabama, several advisories for storms, though not severe. Noisy, but not severe.
You guys wanna look at the-
So we're kind of down to really 1 or 2 cells locally that are strong, though not too bad. I mentioned Chattooga County a minute ago, and here we go. See around mid-low, heavy rain and lightning. That cell's kind of falling apart a little bit. Not too strong, but mid-low to Somerville. That's going to be coming off the mountain, coming away in Somerville in the next 10, 15 minutes. Just after the top of the hour. Same thing you're trying. Just, it's getting a little noisy with some rain, but not too bad with that. But there are other cells that could be impacting Chattooga County with time. Especially southern Chattooga with that storm near Galesville. That storm seems to still be picking up a bit. So for Floyd and southern Chattooga, we'll watch that. Also of note, we're going back up here just a little bit. The severe thunderstorm watch out for our western part of our viewing area does expire at 10 o'clock, or excuse me, at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. But so far, no counties have been taken off of that. So we might see some expirations from west to east with time during the 10 o'clock hour Central, or 10 Eastern to 11 Eastern. And then more counties probably take it off between 11 and midnight. So we're nearing that time, but still got several ongoing strong storms. And again, the strongest seems to be that one on the Marion-Franklin County line, and that one of far southern DeKalb. All the others are not as bad. going back to Monroe County for that storm in Tellico Plains, we mentioned that the warning expired. There's still a advisory, but again, it's a little bit lower in intensity. So this is out till 9:45. Between now and 9:45, roughly the next 45 minutes. This will cross from Monroe County to Cherokee County, North Carolina. And with that, penny-sized hail possible with that still. But again, it has fallen below severe levels, although it's still producing quite a bit of rain. And into this higher terrain, there's going to be a lot of runoff. And again, these cells still noisy, winding down just a bit,
I think you should focus exclusively on.
but pockets of lightning, so just stay inside. The thunder roars, head indoors. You always wait 30 minutes since the last visible lightning strike or last audible clap of thunder before going back outside, or then you can count 30 seconds from the flash of lightning to the resulting clap of thunder. You can count more than 30 seconds, safer to be outside. But for right now, with it being dark outside, just go in for the night. Play it safe. Even though it's below severe levels, lightning is very dangerous, very deadly. Here we go. From Marion. Been waiting on this, but there you go. So the National Weather Service in Morristown did issue the severe thunderstorm warning just moments ago for southwestern Marion County. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail possible. A storm just to the southwest of Winchester, moving east at 30. So again, this includes, it's just the southwestern part of Marion, not the entire county. Kimball, Jasper, New Hope, South Pittsburgh, Sequatchie Cave, and Orme. All under the severe thunderstorm warning out till 8:45 Central, 9:45 Eastern. So again, this cell right here near Sherwood, causing this warning for this part of Marion County, the southwestern corner, and the northeastern corner of Jackson County, where it borders Tennessee and Georgia. So this one out, Stevenson, Bridgeport, till 10 o'clock Eastern. And the same thing for this one in southwestern Marion, also out till 8:45 Central, 9:45 Eastern. So it'll expire before that one in Jackson County. So let's track that cell for you. East at 30. So heads up over the next hour in Dade, Hamilton, this holds together. So notice Central versus Eastern time. We're watching this cell here along the Marion, Franklin County border down into northern Jackson County. It could reach Orme, 8:09 Central. That's in the next few minutes. South Pitt around 8:20 Central. Long Island here, 8:30 Central, and about as far east as Signal Mountain, if it holds together, just before 10 o'clock. So as we're about to start our Fox newscast at 10 o'clock, within the hour, that's when that storm will start moving in. Now we'll be on the air tracking that. We'll be shifting from this digital stream back on air. So we got you covered. We're watching. But you can see how this cell, even though it's right here, is causing 3 different warnings over 1, 2, 3 different counties. So taking up a lot of real estate there. And the cells south of there into Jackson County, these are not severe at the moment, although I keep an eye on that one southwest of Scottsboro. All these others are just some pockets of heavy rain and lightning approaching the Sand Mountain area. And again, that one that moved into northern Chattooga, not too bad. A little noisy, Somerville to Menlo. Back on top of the mountain, but not too bad. Not too bad. This one, though, is kind of rough. The warning did end for this part of DeKalb into Cherokee County, Alabama, near Cedar Bluff and Weiss Lake, but let's keep an eye on that. A lot of lightning with that as it moves to the east. That could affect southern Chattooga, northern parts of Floyd. And all this activity here really winding down quickly. Yay. So Spring City up to Rockwood, and still a lot of lightning with that and heavy rain, but all this is calming down, calming down. And again, we got this advisory now, though, in Tellico Plains. You're about to ease out of that heavy rain. And this is now more into the higher terrain of Monroe, where it borders North Carolina. Let's see. Judy watching from Minnesota. All right. Land of 10,000 Lakes. I have a very good friend of mine from St. Paul. Thanks for watching. Alexis asking how long until it hits Dade. Well, Alexis, that cell right there in just northwest of you. Depends on where you are in Dade County, Alexis. I would say it's probably going to impact northern Dade more than southern Dade, this particular cell. But I'd say from Trenton and north, it'll be just before 10 o'clock Eastern. Okay? So again, this particular cell has caused these warnings, one over southwestern Marion for Jasper, Kimball, Orem, South Pittsburgh till 8:45 Central. That's 9:45 Eastern. And then into Jackson County out to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 Central. Linda asking, when will it move into Dalton? Linda, it really depends on how much this holds together. I think for Dalton, this cell will probably stay just north, but southwest of Dalton, you got all of this activity kind of winding down. So, the severe threat's kind of low with this, but you might still get some rain and lightning coming your way from the southwest. So again, this will all start, during the 10 to 11 time frame. Folks also asking about North Georgia. It depends on where you guys live in North Georgia, but all of this here is not as severe. It's just noisy, but that'll be creeping into Dade, Walker, Morph, Chattooga, eventually Gordon, southern Whitfield. But we'll keep an eye on this storm here, which may graze right past northern Dade and northern Walker and on into Hamilton County. So it depends on where you are. Okay, but it's not every cell is severe. The strongest one is this one in western parts of Marion. See how it holds together. All these are pretty noisy, but below severe levels here. So again, locally, it's not as active as it was 2 hours ago. There's the cell there in eastern Monroe. Just an advisory with it below severe levels. Same thing in Chattooga County. This is not too strong. But this one, this is our strongest storm locally at the moment.
Hey, Ray. In the 10, I'm just switching your reporter.
And just to show you, folks, everything west
Alex,
is a lot calmer. It's amazing when you shut off the daytime heating, you shut off the fuel. It's like pulling the lever, no more fuel. Alexis, no, we've not seen any rotation with these cells. There's been some broad rotation with a few of the storms have been hail producers, but not tornadic production. We've not seen that. We certainly hope it stays that way. But things are a little calmer than they were a couple of hours ago. All right, let's take a look at where that storm is. Storm is now. The storm is in Orem. I've been waiting to say that. Right there. Heavy rain there. Up to Martin Springs. I'll first show you the velocity scan here. Got some strong wind gusts there. That's coming off Mount Eagle, off 24 right there. There's the split around Mount Eagle. And here's some strong gusts there north of South Pittsburgh. So That's a pretty strong storm still. Look at this other screen here. Check that thing out. Yeah, that's some strong wind right there, coming off right on that far western part of Marion. Could have wind gusts between 40 and 60 miles an hour in that little pocket right there. Now let's look at the hail. Let's see the hail production of this one. Yeah, you can see just in the past few minutes, right along the Franklin and Marion County line, still producing some hail there. That's probably now more toward the Orem area, but over the past 10 to 15 minutes, it's had hail at the size of a quarter. So that is still a very strong storm. Noted very strong wind gust here and the hail. So pretty good strong updraft for that storm. That's still a good strong storm. The reason why that warning remains in effect. That's the strongest storm locally at the moment. And you can see the way, way that thing kind of bows just a little bit. See, it kind of just does that a little bit and get some strong straight line winds with that. So this could be more of a combination of both a hail producing storm and strong wind gust.
Hey, Sam?
Yeah.
I have,
South of there, you can see this is a pretty robust storm there near Scottsboro. Let's see what they stay with the advisory or it gets a little stronger. This Woodville, Pleasant Grove, and near Scottsboro. Quick velocity scan there. Yeah, got some gusts there. Strong gusts just to the southwest of Scottsboro. So we got the wind really picking up there. Yeah, also kind of 40 to 60 miles an hour possible with that. We'll leave that view up. That's let me go back to the stronger storm here. I want to stay on that one. This is the strongest storm locally at the moment. Let's see the latest Storm Prediction Center update. Give me 1 second here. No updates there. Sherry asking, do you think it'll make it past the mountains in the East Ridge? It's possible. I think the way this is moving, it's kind of moving more southeast a little bit. So it's possible. If it holds together, it can make it as far east as Hamilton County during the 10 o'clock hour. So there it is there. We'll do another tracker on it for you. That's based on where it's moving currently. So again, note Central versus Eastern time. So South Pittsburgh right now. Bridgeport around 8:26 Central. And then Lookout Mountain just before 10. And near Chattanooga around 10. So if it holds together, it'll be approaching Hamilton County just before 10 o'clock Eastern. So again, the only warnings locally at the moment is in southwestern Marion till 8:45 Eastern in the next 30 minutes. And to the top of the hour here in northeastern Jackson County till 9 Central, 10 Eastern. All the other activity that was so busy for so long is finally quieter now. Dayton, Spring City, 10 Mile, Athens, up to Crossville. Look how quickly all that's faded out. You know, as I say that, look right there. Look at outflow. Pop it. So Athens, you got another heavy downpour coming your way. Not a, doesn't appear to be severe, but it's like that outflow near Sweetwater, boom, picked it up right there. So Athens comes another round of heavy downpours. It doesn't appear to be bad though, but we'll watch it. And all of this in Monroe County heading through extreme northern Polk and right along the North Carolina border. And that cell near Scottsboro, they extended an advisory out to the top of the hour. Wind gust of 40 to 50 possible, but still remaining below severe levels. We'll watch that one. It's just sort of tried to pick up intensity a little bit right over Scottsboro, but heavy rain, lightning, and it's moving northeast at 30. So we'll track that one because also, aside from that one, with this one moving northeast at 30, that could carry over to Dade County as well. So if this one holds its strength and moves northeast, there's its movement over the next hour. This is all central time except for Cloverdale, Dade County, around 10:14 Eastern. But there's Hollywood at 8:23, next 6 minutes. Pisgah around 8:36. Eider just before the top of the hour at 8:57 Central. So it's that cell near Scottsboro and paralleling Highway 72 as it moves to the east and northeast at 30. And this is the strongest storm cell locally at the moment. And again, if that holds together as it moves east and slightly southeast of it, it may reach Hamilton County before 10 o'clock and then around Chattanooga right at about 10 o'clock if it holds together. So heads up all this area, Nickajack Lake, Jasper, Bridgeport, eventually Dade County, as that cell rapidly moves to the east. You can see a little good news here. Cumberland, Van Buren, Grundy, all have been taken out of the severe thunderstorm watch. That's good. But for Southeast Tennessee, it remains in effect till 11, at the next just under 2 hours. And across Northwest Georgia until midnight. Okay. So, and by that time, a lot of this will be dying down. No new storm spotter reports, although let's check this near Pikeville. Yep. Some flooding there. You know, we just showed about 30 minutes ago, we showed the rainfall rate, which had been about 3 inches or more. So there has been a little bit of flooding there. 3 roads blocked by flooding in Pikeville, especially near Lowe's Gap Road. So again, looking at our viewing area, we have 3 areas of storms we're watching. This one here near Scottsboro, below severe levels. This one here, and then this one especially right here. KP, I'm doing future scans on the individual cells. Okay, thank you, sir. On the individual cells. The next update is coming out for the hourlies and the high-res model future scan, but it's not going to really accurately show what's happening out there right now. That's why we do these individual scans of the storms. But I can tell you that the coverage of the showers and storms rapidly drops off between 11 p.m. and midnight. And then beyond midnight, things are going to be a lot quieter. Okay, so it's not going to last all night long. But with a situation like this, it's far more accurate to track the individual cells, 1, 2, 3, and 4, because the future scans, and I'll show you the high-res model outlook, it's going to look a lot different than this. Those run every hour, and storms change in an hour. So I tend to, when there's storms happening, I call it nowcasting. You kind of have to drop the high-res models for a while because it'll show you a trend, but it's not going to show you with accuracy the individual storms and location. Just case in point. See the radar now? So here's a high-res model. Here's what it looks like. And see it's the placement's a lot different, but I just want to show you the trend is from 10 o'clock to midnight, things get a lot quieter. It loses energy. So that's the trend, but don't look at the individual locations of storms. It's a lot different, okay? Because it's not really locked in on where they are, but it does show between 10 and midnight, the trend is a lot quieter, okay? So, but for right now, with their storms on the maps or ducks in the pond, as I say, we got to look at it individually and do future scans individually with the storm and not over the entire area. Alexis, it's possible there might be a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Dade. As that cell moves in, it's pretty strong, so it wouldn't surprise me. So do be aware of that northern Dade. It's a good question to ask. There it is right there, moving right through South Pittsburgh back to Orem. Very strong wind gusts with that. And even heads up the eastern part of Marion. So some very strong pockets of winds north of South Pittsburgh right here. For those of you even watching from South Pittsburgh, let us know what's happening. Danielle says the lightning at Kimball's insane. And you can see it. You can see those pops all up and down through there. Let's look at the hail. We're going to take these layers off for a second. And you can see here, right along 24, a lot of hail, about the size of a quarter. And this is going to show you where the hail could go over the next hour. That kind of just shows you where the hail has been and where it's moved. But currently, hail production there just north and west of South Pittsburgh. Here we go for northern Dade. This is issued by the National Weather Service, Peachtree City. They've put out an advisory based on that storm. Moving to the east, a little slightly southeast. This is a new advisory for Dade and Walker County out to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock Eastern. That storm right over South Pittsburgh, moving east at 30. Could have wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour, penny-size hail. And as one viewer, Danielle, just noted in Kimball, frequent cloud to ground lightning. So Trenton, Fort Oglethorpe, Lookout Mountain, Chattanooga Valley, Wildwood, Fairview, New England, Cloudland Canyon State Park, Cooper Heights, and Lakeview in line for that. So again, we'll do one more tracker on this. So there's the movement over the next hour. Could go as far east as East Brainerd by 10:25 Eastern. Near Ringgold at the same time. So here's a couple of times. Note Central versus Eastern. It'll be crossing into Eastern time zone. But Whiteside at 8:40 Central. And then Lookout Mountain, Tennessee, the Tennessee side. 9:53. Chattanooga still right around the 10 o'clock hour. East Brainerd around 10:16. So this cell still producing some hail, still producing some, at least some severe wind gusts estimated in Marion County, but estimated across Dade and Walker County to be a little lower than severe. Notice also the warning that was out for Jackson County has expired. They've allowed that to expire. But that'll be moving through Dade, Walker, and right along the Tennessee, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia border. So there's the movement over the next hour. There's just a little bit of an update. Still 9:53. Lookout Mountain, close to 10 o'clock. Chattanooga, 10:16, East Brainerd. So again, that warning that was out for northeastern Jackson has been allowed to expire. Still a pretty productive cell there near Scottsboro. A lot of lightning with that, a lot of heavy rain. So that'll be approaching Stevenson. Again, these light brown polygons are advisories. And just to give you the text of this one with that cell approaching Stevenson from Scottsboro, that could have wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour, moving to the northeast at 30. So we'll do another track on that one. So there you go. So northern Dade and Walker, you're going to have what's left of this cell, but also what's left of this cell potentially with more rain and lightning. So Pisgah around 8:32. Stevenson around 8:41, again, Central versus Eastern. And around Trenton, around 10:18. So Trenton, be advised, you're going to have a storm north of you moving by, and then this one coming up the south potentially during the 10 o'clock hour. And again, those seem to be the two strongest cells locally. Everything else, not too bad. Athens still getting that the outflow storm, the outflow from that near Sweetwater developed that. So it's raining and lightning again. It's like, here we go again in Athens, but it's not severe. No warning with that, but in Iota, Athens to Inglewood, you got more heavy rain coming your way, at least a small pocket of that, but it just formed in the outflow from this cell here. Boom, right there. And all this activity here, east and southeast Zydeco Plains, watch out for excessive runoff. Hiawassee River, Reliance, Turtletown, and all this area, parts of Monroe, and right along the state line with North Carolina. Very heavy rain there. All right. Just issued. Did your alert go off? Did your mobile device with the Storm Tech 9 app go off for Hamilton County? Well, here's why. Severe thunderstorm warning out now for eastern Hamilton and also in eastern Marion. And then in the southwestern Hamilton County. That storm near Kimball and Jasper moving east at 35 could have quarter-size hail with it. So again, this cell right here prompting a new severe thunderstorm warning out till 10:15 Eastern for Marion, the eastern part of Marion, southeastern, and southwestern Hamilton County due to quarter-size hail with that storm moving through. And again, be aware of that. Northern Dade, Northern Walker, that little southern flank of that be moving your way also. No warning here for Dade and Walker, but just be advised, okay? So again, there it is for Hamilton and Marion County out till 10:15 Eastern. Be right back here, folks. Hey, Val.
Hey.
Let's make it more present tense on here.
Okay.
Because how are we going to hear this? Oh, so we can say, damage, wind, and hail could be impacted here on county. It's not clear at the time. We say live agriculture hotel. I don't know what it's going to show you, but by that time we'll probably reach. So here's what reaches live agriculture hotel. The storms are moving. Sure. All right, just making our preps for the Fox newscast, because when we start our Fox newscast at 10, it's going to have an ongoing warning out for Hamilton County. So again, just be advised that about 20, 25 minutes from now, we'll stop this feed and then go right to the Fox newscast. So you can watch it, of course, Fox Chattanooga. You can also watch it on your mobile device. You just have to switch sources, but it'll be at foxchattanooga.com from 10 to 11, then newschannel9.com starting at 11 o'clock. So we'll keep our streams going, digital streams going. So 2 cells here. This one moving this way. This one moving more this way. So this one will be impacting more northern Dade, northern Walker. This one can impact more parts of Dade and Walker. Not severe, but it's a pretty loud storm as it moves north and east. Dennis asking about Bryant, Alabama. Yeah, you'll have this cell move over you. So some rain and lightning coming your way. But it doesn't appear to be severe for Bryant, but kind of loud. Ash asking about anything for Cleveland. Well, Ash, it all depends upon how well this storm holds together. It is moving over the past hour more to the east. It's a little bit smaller than it once was, but it could, between the 10:30, 11 time frame, could make it into parts of Bradley. So we'll keep it for Cleveland. This is the one you need to watch. Okay. And even this one, as it moves north and east, we'll see how well it holds together over the next hour. More counties have been taken out of the severe thunderstorm watch. So many counties north and northwest are now out. So if I mention your county, you're no longer under the severe thunderstorm watch. Cumberland, Meigs, Ray, Bledsoe, Sequatchie, Grundy, Van Buren, all out of the severe thunderstorm watch. And eventually during the 10 to 11 o'clock time and 11 to midnight, more counties will be taken out. But this will not last all night long. Remaining counties, Southeast Tennessee and Western North Carolina out to 11 o'clock Eastern. And across North Georgia till midnight Eastern. Again, the strongest storm locally is the storm right now moving through Marion County, with that warning extending into Hamilton County till 10:15. Still keep an eye on that cell right there over Jackson County, as it could impact Dade and Walker with rain and lightning. And far southern Chattooga, that's still a pretty nasty cell there near the Weiss Lake, Galesville area. Could impact parts of Floyd County. But again, that's going to stay on the far southern fringe of our viewing area. This cell over Monroe County, rain and lightning, a lot of that, but it's below severe levels. Same thing in Athens, heavy rain with that quick round of rain and lightning, but not severe. All the other counties north, things have improved quite a bit. Much, much better than what we saw about an hour ago. But again, the newest warning that we showed you as it was issued is for southwestern Hamilton, which includes Chattanooga, all the way back into eastern parts of Marion. It's for that cell right over Jasper and South Pittsburgh at the moment. That severe thunderstorm warning out till 10:15 Eastern as that storm moves to the east at 35. Quarter-size hail, the big problem with that storm. Urca asking about East Brainerd. If it holds together, Urca, that's the one you want to watch. East Brainerd's right here. So if it holds together and moves through, you could be dealing with at least some rain, lightning, and maybe a little bit of hail production there. But that would be probably for you, probably more toward 10:30 Eastern. Let's do a quick tracker on this cell, okay? Here's the movement over the next hour. And there you go for East Brainerd. You're asking about East Brainerd. There you go. We're at 10:13, 10 to 10:30. Ottawa, had someone ask about Ottawa a while back, but if it holds together near Ottawa, around 10:23. Chattanooga near the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. That's what we're anticipating for the past hour or so. Red Bank just before 10. Wildwood, 9:45. So no, Alexis, the storm cell has not really weakened much in South Pittsburgh yet. There's still a strong wind gust production and the chance for some quarter-size hail. And yes, Dottie, Rossville, about the same thing. Rossville's kind of in this little polygon I got right here. So it's possible near Rossville. I would say near the top of the hour, near 10 o'clock, you get the leading edge of that storm. Okay. And Amber, same thing for Bradley County. If it holds together, cross into southern Bradley. So we'll have to watch that. Okay. But everything else around Bradley County, nothing severe right now. Let's take a look at the current hail movement at the moment. We'll take all these layers off. Current hail. And still near Jasper. Close to quarter-size hail there. So this is still a pretty strong storm. Big lightning producer also. So west of Chattanooga on the western horizon, no doubt you're seeing the lightning strike showing up. And still some strong wind gusts in the leading edge of that system. Come back here. That was my fault. Trying to bring out the cursor there. So some strong wind gusts, Whiteside to Coal City to Bryant. Some strong wind gusts and leading edge of that storm there. And again, quarter-size hail is potential with that. Jasper's almost on the back edge of that. So is South Pittsburgh. Almost on the back edge. Yes, Jonathan, I just saw that. You were asking about Bryant a minute ago. And yeah, they just now here's the deal, though. The warning for Bryant is not for this cell, even though the southern flank of that cell is affecting it. It's this one. So they finally did upgrade this one. We were watching that was near Scottsboro to Stevenson. So near Bryant, you're under this new warning, which is out until 10:15 Eastern. So that cell moving east, more northeast, around 35. Again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, $half size hail. So pretty good strong updraft with that one still. So again, Bryant, you're here. You're getting some rain and storms and wind from that cell, but it's this one near 72 south of Stevenson that could be impacting you. So again, that is for Jackson County out till 10:15 Eastern. That severe thunderstorm warning there. And pretty strong wind gusts right along 72 right there. Stevenson to Pisgah. Let's take a look at the current hail. Yep. And you can see the large hail there just to the southwest of Stevenson. And that deep blue, that's over 1 inch diameter. Yeah, that's $half size, about 1.5 inch diameter. So it's very possible with that one. That is just to the southwest of Stevenson. So we noted very strong wind gusts along 72, hail production there just to the south of Stevenson. That is still a pretty strong storm.
Hey, Jackson,
Yeah.
when you have time, will you send Mary Beth's package?
So the
to
two
CNN?
strongest storms locally
And just
right
send
here
something
on the eastern edge of Marion.
Yeah, just send them an
And then this one here approaching Stevenson with large hail, strong wind gust potential. That is headed to the northeast. So in Dade and Walker County, be advised, you're going to be catching the southern part of this cell moving right along the Tennessee-Georgia border. And then this one's coming your way during the 10 o'clock hour. And you can see now, this one's picked up some speed a little bit. This is right now approaching Nickajack Lake, crossing the county line. It's moving a little faster. So it's got some very strong wind gusts, again, approaching the Hamilton-Marion County line and the far northern part of Dade County. Not under that warning in Dade County, but again, that cell's still pretty strong. Looking at the other screen here. All the other cells locally are not that strong. And everything back behind these two cells are a lot weaker. So these are the main event right here. This one and this one. And both of them, both possess damaging wind gust and hail potential. The two main things we've been watching for tonight. And now it's approaching Chattanooga, northwest Georgia. And two active warnings. Again, this one for southwestern Hamilton, eastern Marion, out till 10:15 Eastern, with the potential of a damaging wind gust and quarter-size hail. So 60-mile-an-hour gust, quarter-size hail. And then this storm near Stevenson at the moment prompted this warning out till 9:15 Central, 10:15 Eastern. That one likewise, 60-mile-an-hour gusts, but $half size hail. You notice we showed the hail core a lot larger with that one. That one's also moving to the east at 35. All these other cells, pretty noisy, pretty rainy, but below severe levels. So Turtletown, Athens, Seneca Plains, those are heavy downpours, but not severe. Our main concern is now eastern Marion along the Hamilton County border, and this one over northeastern Jackson. We'll keep an eye on this one here over southern Chattooga and Floyd. They just issued an advisory, which includes Rome to south of Somerville. But again, that storm's below severe levels. But do anticipate that in that part of Chattooga, Floyd, and even western Gordon till 10:15. Could have wind gusts up to 40 to 50, but below severe levels. In the two main storms locally, this one near Stevenson on Highway 72 in Jackson County. That'll be approaching Bryant, Stevenson, Bridgeport. Western Marion, all areas, say from South Pittsburgh to Jasper, easing out of that storm. And that storm now over the eastern part of Marion and right along the Hamilton County border. So let's go ahead and do one more tracker on this. All right, there's the movement over the next hour. This can make it near Cleveland by 1040. People have been asking about Bradley County. And they just upgraded Dade and Walker to the severe thunderstorm warning. All right, so let me show this tracker one more time. Chattanooga near the top of the hour. East Ridge around 10. Ringgold 1031. Ottawa 1018. Over to South Cleveland by 1040. All right, they just upgraded. No surprise here because of the southern flank of this and another storm coming in from the southwest. Severe thunderstorm warning out for this part of northern Dade and the far northwestern corner of Walker County. All right, this particular warning, all right, hear me out. This warning is for that cell near Stevenson, moving to the northeast at around 50 miles an hour. So it's really picked up speed. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail possible. So again, the warning for Dade and Walker is for this cell. Yes, there's this cell here on the far northern part of Dade and Walker, and do be aware of that for that far southern part of that storm. But it's this one here that has prompted that warning that is moving this way. We're going to do a quick tracker on that. So that has prompted the warning for Dade and Walker, okay, until 10:30 Eastern, okay? So we're going to track the leading edge of this one. It is a hail producer. So we got this cell, but we're going to track this cell. If this cell holds together the whole time, Higdon, notice Central versus Eastern. Just before 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Trenton around 10:01. Fort Oglethorpe 10:19. Ottawa 10:36. So Ottawa, you might catch two separate cells. This one and what's left of this one if it holds together. So right now we've got 3 separate warnings for 2 separate cells. This warning here for the eastern part of Hamilton, Eastern Marion. I did that twice. Eastern Marion and Western Hamilton. This is out to 10:15 Eastern, includes Chattanooga for wind gusts up to 60 and quarter-size hail with that cell that is right along the Hamilton-Marion County border, not far from Nickajack Lake. This warning for northern Dade and northwestern Walker is not for the cell on the state line. It is for the cell to the west near Stevenson, okay? And this warning out for that part of Jackson County is out until 9:15 Central, 10:15 Eastern, which includes Bridgeport up to from Scottsboro to Bridgeport to Stevenson and Bryant. Same thing, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and heavy rain. And in Hamilton County, we're already getting some of that heavy rain. Tiftonia, Lookout Valley. Heavy rain is already reaching you here. So you're no doubt picking up the wind gust also. Lookout Mountain, Georgia and Tennessee. I'm sure the upslope wind flow is pretty strong there. Highway 41 from Lookout Valley, Tiftonia back into Marion County. Very heavy rain, a lot of lightning there. And that includes Signal Mountain already getting the heavy rain. And coming down the mountain toward 27, near the Valdo area, that intersection there where you turn on to go to Signal Mountain Road from Highway 27 in Red Bank. And so approaching downtown with some very heavy rain. Rossville, you can be catching this cell here coming in with heavy rain. Same thing, East Ridge at the 10 o'clock hour. And then we got to watch that cell near Stevenson. Folks, as we approach 9:50, I want to remind you again, we're going to be stopping this stream over the next few minutes, but we're just moving platforms, okay? We're going to be moving to our Fox Chattanooga platform. I'll be on the air on Fox Chattanooga tracking the storms. It will also be streaming for you on foxchattanooga.com, so jump to that stream. You can also go to foxchattanooga.com and Fox Chattanooga on air. That's where it'll be still streaming, okay? 10 to 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock to 11:35 on News Channel 9 is streaming at newschannel9.com. If need be, after 11:35, we'll start the digital stream back here on our YouTube channel and Facebook pages. Okay. But we're just going to be switching platforms in about 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Okay. So I don't want anyone to panic and think, oh, where'd y'all go? No, we're just switching platforms. We have to do that so I can get on the air. I'm in the newsroom now. I got to get to the studio and put all this computer graphics up on the air, but it only takes me a few minutes to do that. So just a very, very small break. I want you to know that. So Deborah says Stevenson getting hammered right now. Stevenson, you are right over that. Deborah, stay safe and let us know what's happening. You know, wind, rain, hail. What are you seeing there in Stevenson? I appreciate you chiming in, though. Check our live cam here. Yeah, checking our live cams. No rain downtown yet, but it's coming. It's coming. So get that warning for Western Hamilton. They may extend that momentarily. It's out till 10:15. That's going to be east at 35. Let me do one more tracker for you on this before we have to switch platforms. Wrong thing. That's my fault. Ignore that. Okay, here we go. This is Chattanooga, next few minutes. East Brainerd, 10:09. Ottawa, 10:16. Okay, so that's a timeline for that cell. Okay, heavy rain, lightning, and the potential for some hail with that storm. Now, Dayton Walker under the warning because of this cell here. This one right here. Again, this one's moving at a very fast pace. It is also producing large hail, as we noted on our radar. That is moving to the northeast at 40 miles an hour. So let's track this one.
9:52, just a heads up.
Thank you. Okay. This is for the cell in Jackson County, northeast of Stevenson. Okay. Long Island, top of the hour. Chickamauga, 10:25. And then Chattanooga, we're going to get the first heavy rain batch now, but then this is followed by the secondary round at around 10:30. Ottawa, the second round around 10:50. So Ottawa, you're going to get that first round with this one, and then this next one could hold together and bring another round of heavy rain. So we're just now seeing all this action now late evening as this moves on by. Again, this has had a history of producing large hail. There's a potential for strong wind gust, and of course, a heavy rain and lightning threat. All right, my friends, we're going to continue tracking these two cells just on a different platform. Okay, so we're about to leave this platform now, but join us on Fox Chattanooga on air. But if you want to watch on your streaming device, just go to foxchattanooga.com and right at 10 o'clock, hit watch now, and it'll show you storm tracking continues. Okay, we're here for you to keep you updated. But I got to get to the studio here as we're going to start that newscast in about 4 to 5 minutes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe. We're tracking these for you. I'll have more updates on Fox Chattanooga and News Channel 9. All right, stay safe. We're watching this and tracking it for you. Thanks for watching, everybody.